Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ratu Gadis Megah Catur Junita. Today presentation about the lesson of history. The history of interpreting. The history of interpreting, either spoken or signed, is often assumed to have started more recently than it did. Often this is because history are reported as if interaction occurring only among monogamous H.A.C. Polymer 2003 for account of interpreting in 16 countries, Ireland, without reasons or to the multilingual nature of interpreted people's meeting. Historical mention of translation and interpreting. Interpreting as a practice has occurred throughout human history of the undertaken by low status bilinguals or bilinguals with no training. Historical documents also show multilinguals of high status people in the borderlands, children with different home language, and those learning language working as interpreting either formally or as part of other personal rules. Early reference to translation and interpreting. One of the earlier mentions Herman in 1956/2002 of a card of people undertaking in interpreting work was in the Ethiopian during their millennium BC. As is often the case of earlier reference, this account with the context of an empire with nation status, recording some interaction with and control of those who were separated in this case. The reason born in Nubia, the work of interpreter also occurred regularly though the classical Hellenic and Roman periods, with reference to interpret found in the Greek and Latin literature of all periods. Many of the themes that measure from the context of works, soldiers, and mandarins, amongst other, whose responsibility include interpreting, remain real today. So the text, context, and practicalities of interpretation might vary across different time and geographies that board of overarching themes constitute. 1. Language status and language choice. 2. Language fluence and language immigration. 3. Language brokering and cross-cultural canoeing led. 4. Loyalty and the power of choose an impaired translator or broker. Interpreting becomes functional in US, UK, and Australian. For many years, and in most countries, sign language interpreters were family members, with frequency include the children of deaf parents. Some of the children were deaf, where many more were not deaf. See in Carl 2009. In many deaf countries, communication non-deaf children with deaf parents functioning in this language. Working rule in a range of settings, Napier 2014. Education. By the 1920 and 1918s, sign language interpreting either a sign or path of becoming a person in the U.S. support from the Rehabilitation Service Administration RSA, suddenly Nation Interpreting Training Consortium, which helped etablissem interpreter education in 6 posts. Secondarily institute their interpreting programs, which were friendly for their over 20 years. Were typing 2 years, typing for programs, and also those as region center for their RSA religious graduate that came all from interprets to have become the national registry of interpreters. Currently, there are 2 models from Coldentelling interpreters taught a professional organization organized on model in the awarding for a certification, opinion, completion of an academic program, and successful review of period as is done in UK. In this chapter, we have explored some of the first reference to interpreting on record. Many concert that we have today are contract that have always been resigned when again someone interpret. I think that's all. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.